Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham, and I've traveled nonstop for 25 years. Well, I've lived in 114 countries in 25 years of nonstop travel. And today I want to talk about the Thoreau Society. I was planning on going to the Thoreau Society, but I decided not to because, how do I explain it? I think I had a big conversation with Henry David Thoreau, and I do this often. I find that if I have a conversation with my mother, my father, my mentors like Buster Spade, my father and mother, Sherry and Jerry Graham, even if they're dead, I know what they're going to say, okay? And Henry David Thoreau is kind of the same. Somebody that I truly respect, you kind of know what they're going to say. So I was sitting there, I had a person viciously attack 4 times in a row. I mean, I think they wrote me 5 emails that were just a desire to be angry, right? And there was no letting it loose. And it was for the reason that I don't have a right to have an opinion, okay? Their opinion is better than my opinion. Okay, but this is the essence of Henry David Thoreau is many, many things like this, right? And Henry David Thoreau was a nonconformist. He pretty much disagreed with almost everything that society did. And but I want to support completely the Thoreau Society, but I'm not going to attend it. It's in Concord, Massachusetts, which is really close to Walden Pond, where Henry David Thoreau went to do an experiment. Um, and um, but at the same sense, I have to talk to Henry David Thoreau and ask him. I sit there and said, Henry, what do you want me to do? Okay, and I finally realized that I'm not of the same ilk. When this person attacked me, I realized they have no respect for humans, right? They have no respect for nature. They have no respect for animals. They don't understand anything about the real world, okay? And this is kind of the problem we are in 2024. People live in this dream. I think in chapter 2 of Walden, he talks about having a real meter, okay, to actually really understand what's going on. But I got the link for the Thoreau Society in 2024, and I want to support it. I'm not going to, I don't know anything about it. I only know some references to it, and I think it's kind of like, uh, well, it's July 10th to 14th, 2024 in Concord. And I will highly support anyone who wants Thoreau's and his values to be emulated. And I'm going to say that emulated, I don't really want them talked about. I want them actually put into actions. And this is where I probably will differ with most people on the East Coast, okay, and the West Coast. I think they've lost the plot. In travel lingo, they've lost the plot, okay? They don't really, they're not they're not simpatico with Henry David Thoreau. But I signed up and paid the yearly automatic withdrawal and whatever. I got the link in here. But I am often, I do so many things like Thoreau. It's kind of crazy. I live in a small room. I've lived in a small, like 12 by 15 or 16 by 16 room now for 25 years and 10 months. And I've lived in this room in 116 countries. I don't own a house. I don't own a car. I don't own anything. Everything I own is carried in my backpack because I believe that experience is more important than possessions. I think the possessions own you. But I live in a small room. But I think I would quarrel if I would go to Henry David Thoreau's place. Welcome to the real world where people just are noisy. Okay, I think I would quarrel. And even, I'm going to kind of read something and this is what really stuck in my brain and my craw when I was 15 years old and first read Henry David Thoreau, even near the end of his life, in his last battle with lifelong tuberculosis, when his Calvinist Aunt Louise asked if he had made peace with God, Thoreau joked, "I did not know we had ever quarreled." And that is how I live my life. Okay. And I live a life where I, in essence, don't quarrel. Okay. But there's things I agree with and there's things I disagree with. But I, at the end of the day, know what is right from wrong. Okay. I'm going to try to go down to a quieter spot. These guys are sort of making some noise, and that's okay. Okay. But when you quarrel, I believe that if I would be led into temptation to quarrel if I go to the Thoreau Society. It's quite obvious that this elitist type person thought he or she was the appointed person to be my, oh, they wanted to be judge me, right? On my opinions on how to travel the world and what is right and wrong. Okay. Okay. So I'm not going to quarrel. I'm going to try to talk with Henry David Thoreau. Henry, what do you want me to do? He wants me to live by necessity only. Okay. He doesn't want me to have superfluous things. Superfluous things own me. I don't own them. We call them anchors. Okay. But when you talk about this kind of theory, everybody quarrels with you. And that, if I go to a highly, very, I don't know, overpriced place, like the what I suspect Concord is, I don't know it. I'm talking just by guessing, right? But I want to be a philosopher. I don't want to talk about philosophers. I don't want to talk about philosophy. I want to be the action of Henry David Thoreau. And so I live in a small room by necessities only for 25 years. I work one day a week or about 2 hours a day for 25 years. I'm a proven example that his experiment, that he said that he lived for 5 years by only working 6 weeks a year. I'm a proof of it. I was a philosophy major in college. I have written a journal over 15,000 times, commonly called a blog. I observed the world. I witnessed the world. When somebody asked me why I went to Iraq, I said, somebody has to witness this. And you have to be able to say, I seen this, instead of I read about it. There's a very big problem right now is people have too much value on what they read and watch and do on YouTube and not enough value on actual experience. But I witnessed the planet. I witnessed 114 countries, and I've been going for daily walks just like Henry David Thoreau every day for, I don't know, 25 years. I get up in the morning. I go for about 3 walks a day. I don't have a car. Okay. Why? I live in places where I don't need a car because the car owns me. Did you know that I was laughing when I was reading Laura Dassau Wall's book on a life. It's kind of a biography of Henry David Thoreau. He actually had a special design backpack, and I just made a special design backpack. The clothing that I'm wearing, I designed all of them. It has a special collar on it, which is not really special. It's probably in the time of Thoreau pretty common. I made this 32 pocket vest, and because I can make custom clothing cheaper than I can buy it. This shirt cost about, 75 Q, so just under $10. Well, actually, $10 and about $11 when I pay for the cloth. But I got all my possessions in a backpack. And that is the proof that I live by necessities only. But I'm worried, and I'm always, I know that society, the less work I do for society, in a way, civil disobedience is not fighting or quarreling. It's not trying to prove anything. It's basically letting them do what they do and let me do what I do, and be an example of who we are. And that's what Henry David Thoreau, to me, was, as an example. He he understood that by writing, he could understand what he was thinking. But getting judged by people with a lot of money in a place is not quite the same. Uh, a room of necessity is quite, I mean, my rooms are 100% opposite of the ever expanding economy of the United States. I don't approve of it. But the good thing about the Thoreau Society is like Philippines 1:15 said, the important thing is that they are preaching about Christ. They should do it for the right reason, but I'm happy even if they do it for the wrong reasons. Okay. When people talk about Thoreau, I don't care how they talk about him, but I want him to be a topic of subject. But I'm also not a tree hugger, and I'm a fearful that these guys will be forcing me to talk about endlessly about nature. And I have lived in nature with walking in the tropic. I sort of follow the sun for 25 years. It's what I do every day of the week. It's who I am. I was telling a friend of mine, Rick, I said, Rick, you go hiking because you go to a work and you spend 8 hours and then you drive a car to a place to go hiking. I just go walking everywhere I'm at. I live in a place where I can always walk, okay? And I always explore, and I never take the same way home. But I'm in touch with nature. I actually believe that I won't put any chemicals on my body. And I think if we had Henry David Thoreau right now, he would be going really crazy over the different things. And I'm not sure he'd want to go organic because I think he realizes that's like false prophets, right? But he would try his best, and he would have a garden, and he would be self-reliant, and he would be kind of permaculture. But what do they want to do? I don't want to find a bunch of rich people. They have nothing to teach me. I've been into 114 countries. I learned so little from other people. 1 in 50 has a spark of genius in them, and I listen to them all. But generally, the wealthier they are, the less knowledge I learn, because their focus is on making money, owning possessions and cars, which is the opposite of what Henry David Thoreau wanted us to do. It's a wake-up call for me, right? I am a living example of Thoreau's life. Example simpatico with his ideals. But I'm going to say this too. This is a quote by Henry David Thoreau that is really, to me, impactful because it's the trade-off. It's the bargain that every backpacker, traveler, world traveler makes, right? The cost of a thing is the amount. The cost of a thing is the amount of what I will call life, which is required to be exchanged for it, immediately or in the long run. How much of my life will I trade to go talk with these people? And that's a little bit too onerous right now. It's really, I don't want to trade my emotions, and I don't want to trade my mind, and I have to give up the search for experience. I want to go to Cuba right now, or I want to go to Tanzania, Africa. I want to go wild. He talks about wild fruit and wild things. I'm wild, okay? I went to Iraq. I do things that people do not approve of. I was in Haiti, going into City Soleil, which is not, I was kind of depressed. I was there for like 7 days before the earthquake and just happened to disappear. I talked to unsavory people, okay? I talked to everybody on the planet. The world is my home, okay? My name is Alish. My name is Alish. It's not Andy Graham. In the Suta Hill tribal language here, my name is Alish. Matiosh. Matiosh means thank you. Uts means good. I value the people of the local people always more than these tourists that are here to look down, and they kind of like patronize and look at people as if they are like humans can actually be tourist attractions instead of people, the real people. Experience. I am wild. I go to border towns like Iraq, Haiti, Africa. I've been to Africa a dozen times. I love Africa. And I've been to, I don't know, probably 20 countries, and I'm going to go to Tanzania and work my way around the south, the point. It'll probably take me 2 years because I'm going to walk it, right? I'm going to saunter. I'm going to go slow. I'm going to savor every city until I'm bored. I stay in every place until I'm finished with it. On the other side is my philosophy of curiosity means I have to leave because I don't have any enjoyment. I need that constant rush of curiosity. But he had another quote. If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drummer. Let him step to the music whichever he hears, however measured or far away. And this is what, when these people got really angry at me, I realized they just don't get it. Everybody has a right to believe what they want to do. And they want to use society instead of being a man or a person that is of good reputation. They want to spend attacking, and they were blah blah blah. It was pretty funny actually because it was quite obvious that they were so angry because they were just insane. It was fun to watch, and that's what I like to observe: human nature. I go to border towns. I love where two cultures clash. Je parle français, yo hablo español, tu pasa Thai, parlo português. But I don't buy stuff. That makes everybody angry. When I live in a $10 room, they get angry at me. They think that they should feel sorry for me when I'm feeling sorry for everybody in the United States and Europe and anybody of the 25 overdeveloped countries. Why? They are addicted to buying things, and they're addicted to working. They don't understand that there's only one life. And he went to the woods deliberately to taste life. And they're not tasting life. The minute that you spend all your life waiting to turn 30, 30 years and out or something. But I'm the same as Henry David Thoreau. I have a complete disdain for society. I think they all are going the wrong direction. 25 years of work living abroad. I do everything opposite of a normal sociology construct, whatever you want to call this, the average American person. I have nothing in common with them. I don't fit in anymore. I have a tribe of one. I'm Andy Lee Graham. I've lived in that small room in 114 countries. Most of the luxuries, and this is another quote, most of the luxuries and many of the so-called comforts of life are not only indispensable, but positively a hindrance to the elevation of mankind. I believe that things and stuff stop us from finding the beauty of life. And when I'm talking with Thoreau right now and asking him about things, I know that I'm going into a haven of people that really don't get it, okay? They don't. They love Thoreau because he was kind of an environmentalist, but they don't realize in the first chapter he had like 50 to 80 really caustic comments, talking bad about society that is talking about them, okay? And their houses. He's constantly saying the house or the oxen owns you, right? But I have no house. I have no car. No respect for people with houses or cars. When I see somebody here buying a motorcycle, I think, how stupid can you get? Why would I want something I have to watch? Why would I want things? I'm not a maintenance man. I do not want to maintain a house. I want to maintain my emotional, mental, spiritual, physical body and become a better person. And I'm 65 plus, right? I have no use for the East Coast or the West Coast. I think they've lost the plot. I think they're destroying the country because of unabated greed. They have their priorities all mixed up. I went to Harvard and I actually talked to the Bloggers Club. I enjoy all universities, but I think right now most of you know that Harvard and a lot of the Ivy League schools they're just turned into money-making machines. I remember being in Mumbai and watching signs saying, go to Harvard, blah, blah, blah. They were trying to suck the super rich to go to Harvard. And it's a business, guys. It's more of a business. It's about, and everybody, you know, it's like every attorney. What does an attorney do? Attorney talks to two people that hate each other and fighting. Okay, that's like the devil. Okay, I always cringe when I think of how many people were hola, ¿cómo estás? I always think that I have an older woman here. I'll try to show you. ¿Cómo estás? Uts. Me llamo Alish. ¿Tú hablas cachiquel? Okay. Back to the action. Okay. I don't approve of Harvard. I did want to see where Paul Thoreau, one of the writers, which he was born in Medford. When I went to Tours, France, I went to where Rene Descartes lived, and I went in where is it, across Tangiers? It's right across from Gibraltar. It's the place where one of the beat. I go to places where people write books, and I go live in their places. I want to savor that. That's why I'd like to live in the home of Henry David Thoreau. In a lot of ways, I hate to say it, but he was a hobo. He went from place to place looking for jobs. I'm here and you're not. Why not? Because I value experience, and I want to see the people of the world more than I want to have a house, a car, and things. I only have one life, and I'm not going to quarrel with God about it. I'm not going to quarrel with other people about it. I'm not here to say you should live the same life as me. What I'm saying is I have a right to step to a different drummer. And I don't think I ever try to talk anybody into living my life. You got to be emotionally, mentally, physically up to it. And that is the problem. But the minute you leave home, I remember being in, where was I at? I was in Acapulco, I think, and the guy was saying, I was at his band, and this guy says, it's simple. Just don't get on the plane. And that's how life is. Sometimes you just got to say, with an act of faith, don't get on the plane. All in a philosophy, they say sometimes all the ducks or the geese are flying the wrong way. And I think right now, when the United States, everybody in the United States earns about 250 times more than most of the people in the 200 normal countries. They earn about $30 a day. I suspect this lady that's selling all these things I think she's falling asleep. They're my friends. They come up and talk, right? Nobody's afraid of me because I'm part of them, right? Okay. Sometimes you just don't get on the plane. Sometimes you go, enough is enough. And sometimes you have to say that experience is the teacher of life, right? And this is transcendental and all this kind of stuff. And I'm here and you're not. Why not? Because sometimes a 1.5 wit is often considered a half wit because you only understand 1/3 is wit. I'll leave that quote for the end, right? Okay, thank you. Life is good. I say this at the end of all my videos because... ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama? Maria. Okay. She speaks Cachiquel, and she's tribal, and we should always have respect for all people until they... Alish. Alish. My name is Alish, but yo vivo en San Pedro, habla Sutahil. Okay. Andres. Okay. This is a good life, right? I'm living the good life, the sweet life, the dulce life, la vida dulce.